Hello, beautiful people of the internets. My name is Ryan, and welcome back to Slay the Princess. This is episode 4. I'll be honest with you, I just had a really interesting thing happen, which is that I was sitting on this screen, consulting. I was editing and consulting my notes. I've been keeping notes on what I've played so far in the game, and I was kind of going over them, remembering where I was, adding some stuff, and I sat on the screen long enough, and I got jump scared. This background picture changed to a very close-up, shattered face of the princess, which was very interesting. Anyways, maybe it'll happen if we talk for a second again. Welcome back to Slay the Princess. Holy crap, I'm having so much fun with this game. I've been thinking about it nonstop, and I'm very intrigued, as I'm sure you are, to see what we get up to in today's episode. So in the last episode, we were working away. Oh, there it is. We were working away at a very hefty section of the game, including an epilogue. An epilogue. Let's see if I can do a quick 60 seconds or less recap before we hit continue and see what happens next. We came to a couple major sort of theoretical observations about maybe how the game works and what we're doing in this world. First and foremost, when we sort of described the princess one way or the world one way, the world followed. The narrator is maybe creating. We learned in an earlier playthrough that the narrator can sort of control our body. But we discovered that recently that we can also control the world. So there's some bleeding between the narrator and us and what we're allowed to do to each other. As part of that, we saved the princess, and then continued to save the princess, and discovered that she became a sort of mirror of what we wanted her to be, and then because of that, she had very little substance of her own. But then we found a way through the end of that path to sort of give her some substance and find out what she really wanted. And we went dancing under the night sky, and in the process of that, the princess became sort of swallowed up by these hands in the long quiet. We had a very interesting sort of meta conversation about what the game might be about. And those hands in the long quiet told us to seek out, well, actually, I wrote it down. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. So we're going to be in this gameplay loop of that entity, that being, sort of asking us to come up with perspectives and maybe truths through our exploring of the dialogue paths, and then to bring them to that entity. And after we do that, the entity will help us forget everything so that we can then go forth and explore again. Which is really interesting. Let's find out what that looks like.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin
Say it with
is
me.
a princess.
Is a princess.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I think it'll be the end of the world if I do as well. So I think this is chapter 1. So I believe all of my options here will be the exact same, meaning we have the skip button. You're gonna have to bear with me because I've learned a lot in the last couple hours of playing this game, but there's still plenty that I'm unsure about. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Lots of options here that we've either talked about or not talked about. Let's just go through a quick little. Let's take stock, right? So what have I done so far? Our first route, I went to slay the princess, or to figure out what the princess was about. I brought the knife, which made the princess into a person who either I could slay or would slay me. We fought. I killed her, but I also died, which did bring us to a chapter 2. In chapter 2, or was that a chapter 2? I don't remember shit. I went off the path I think it was a chapter 2. I went off the path. It'll tell us here. But it'll be forever ago. Yeah, it'll be forever ago. Okay. I went off the path, off the beaten path, into a sort of threaded world. And in the process of doing that, I died. Which I think then reset things to chapter 1. It did. And that's when we did this whole long loop where I saved the princess. I left the knife. I saved the princess. That allowed us to do a chapter 2 where the smitten was created, which was a mind-boggling chapter. A really mind-boggling chapter. The reason I'm talking through all of this is I'm basically deciding where can we experiment? Where can we try different things? I think any of the other chapter 1 places we could try new things. Let's go to the cabin. We don't even need to talk. Let's go to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right?
I can hit skip here because this is all new. Proceed to the cabin. Or this is all stuff we've heard before. We don't have any new voices. This should just be narrator and hero.
The interior of the cabin is almost
Okay,
entirely...
can skip this. There's a blade here. Now, if we do the same thing... Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to... I mean, we'll see. Things may pop up that completely change my mind. But here's my idea. Let's take the blade and do basically what we did in our first
You take the blade
playthrough.
from the table. It'd be
Because
rather difficult to slay the
our
princess
first
and save the world without
loop.
it.
Because when we did that, we took the blade, we slayed the princess, but then when we restarted in chapter 2, I did something completely different, and I veered off in another direction and died, and I reset the loop. Instead of doing that, maybe we can continue forward. Because what we learned last time is that the princess remembered us between loops. So let's enter the basement. I love my favorite piece of
The door
text.
to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly
this part right here.
illuminated by an unseen light in the room below.
The descriptions of the staircase
This is
and the
an
basement.
oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Here's why I love the variations of the door to the basement text. It's very like novel-esque writing. It starts with a pure physical description. It moves to an interpretation. Let's just close read it for a second. Let's use our writer and reader brains. So we have solid objects, right? The door to the basement creaks open. That's a sound. This is all physical objects, tactile feelings, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated. So we've got sound, we've got light by an unseen light in the room below. Then you get to these interpretive places. This is an oppressive place. This is an interpretation. This tells us how we ought to feel rather than describing what we are feeling. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient ones. So now we've got smell. Now we've got feeling again, back to descriptive. And then we have, if the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. It's this last line that takes us out of description and into the like decision-making tree. And I just love it. It's just, and then the different variations of this have all been very fun. Anyways, so what we're going to do here is we can try some different dialogue. Hey, I think I'm here to kill you.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
What a hero you are, dumbass, is what the narrator just said to us. All right, so now we're in new territory. Now it's time to start thinking, coming up with hypotheses, seeing what the game, let's do the give and take of what the game wants to give us and what we can figure out.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the
Dialogue
far
we've heard
wall of
before.
the basement.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me. I think I'm generally going to take the skip option when I see it, as long as I don't have another reason to think about what's being said, to refresh myself, etc. That said, it did... In a way, here's what we're doing. Last chapter 1, what we thought about doing was coming down here and trying to treat the princess like a princess and see what that did. Basically, what I'm trying here is let's treat the princess like a monster. Steal your nerves and step forward.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Of course, I reserve the right at literally any second to go off in a tangent or a branch that feels interesting. But let's try.
Oh, no talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
The only time I have killed you with a blade, it also killed me. So I don't really.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
No, I'm nervous, but I can do this. I can do this.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
I would never hesitate. That said, we do have some new dialogue options. I would never hesitate. Here, let me hesitate real quick. What if she isn't bluffing? What if she kills us? Are you sure she's not armed? I'm sorry, can we just talk? I'm not dropping the blade, drop the blade, or slay the princess. Let's go, are you sure she's not armed?
I'm positive.
Okay. So this explorer is talking to the narrator.
But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon, she'll have to draw it before she can use it.
She has a weapon, she'll have to draw it before she can use it. I mean, unless her nails are her weapon, unless her persuasive dialogue is her weapon. So I'm gonna take notes of what our loops. I'm gonna do my best to take notes as we play. This is what I was doing before I started today, of what our loops exactly consist of. Because I think the better that I take those notes, the more I might be able to suss out what is and isn't a fork or a branch or whatever, you know? So in this loop so far, we're bringing the knife. We're not talking, at least for now.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife
No,
and
I'm
the
not.
two of us can be civilized
I'm not
with
hesitating.
each other?
I did hesitate. So we get dialogue, drop the blade, or slay the princess. I'm gonna hit slay the princess because this is what we're thinking here is we're not even talking. We're just trying to slay the princess.
You charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct. A blade of her own slips down her sleeve and catches you in the neck.
She has a blade?
Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes of red. You'd better finish your task quickly before you run out of time.
Okay, this is interesting. Die or finish the job. I know I was coming here to kill her. But if I die, here's my thought. Given a choice here to finish the job or die, dying might be the choice that sort of, if we are to assume that our choices sort of make the world, they create the world, they don't discover the world. That's basically... Okay, I think that's basically my current understanding of the game, is that it's a game that postures, it's pretending, it's wearing a costume. The game pretends that you're using dialogue options to explore the world. No. What's actually happening, what's underneath the costume, is that it's not a game where dialogue options help you explore a pre-written world. Instead, your dialogue options create the world alongside you as you play it. If we die, what are we creating? A princess murderer monster? We didn't even get the chance to kill her. Will she still remember us? I don't know. Let's hit die. It's so interesting to just choose to die.
Are you serious? The wound in your neck is too much for you to bear, and you collapse to the floor of the basement, rapidly bleeding out.
Okay, give me the line.
The princess stands over you with an intense curiosity.
She's curious.
As you fade away.
Give me the line.
Oops.
I love this art. The teeth especially are beautiful. Also, these arms aren't so dainty that they would escape from a manacle. Okay, so this was...
Everything goes dark,
There it is.
and you die.
There it is. Everything goes dark and you die. The Razor. I have not been paying enough attention to the titles.
You're on
Shit.
a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
The Razor.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Oh my god, I do want to do this deja vu stuff at some point. I really, really, really want to. Getting a terrible sense of deja vu. I think I've even asked that one time, but it seemed like there... No, did I ask it? I don't remember. This is our... For now, this is our no talking, just choose to die. I will come back to ask about deja vu. Should I ask it now? I don't know. Let's proceed to the cabin. God, this game is my curiosity.
Before you go any further.
Okay, a warning. The problem with this game, my real problem, it's not a real problem, spoiler alert, is that things just keep popping up that make me so goddamn curious. Like right now, and it's my brain is warring in terms of what do you find most curious, most perplexing. Right now, giving me the choice to die is the most perplexing thing. Deja vu is also perplexing. A warning before you go any further.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
He couldn't be more on the money.
Cheated!
We're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you.
The voice of the cheated. He couldn't be more on the money. We're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say your loss, but I'm here with you.
We know what to look out for this time. We know to be careful.
What, the blade? Is that what we look out for here? The narrator is saying that the princess's skills are lying, cheating, and don't believe a word she says, talking. But we know that what killed us was none of that. It was a fucking blade.
Just stay focused and you'll be fine.
But here's what's happening. It doesn't matter what specifically we're talking about. What we're doing here is we're telling a story, a mythological type story about how dangerous the princess is. Not that she is dangerous and that she must die, but that you're encountering a danger the likes of which you have to be perfect to avoid killing, or to avoid dying to. That's the vibe I'm getting, is that it's like a mythological level of monster almost.
The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
The narrator never sees the mirror. The narrator never sees the mirror. These are the things we're learning. The narrator never sees the mirror. This cabin is beautiful, by the way.
The blade is your implement.
It's always my implement.
You'll need it if you want to do this right.
If I remember correctly, and it's very possible I have not, then the narrator didn't see the mirror last time we encountered it, but the smitten did? Let's ask this option. You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall because... No, let's approach the mirror. Because I want to know if the cheated will notice it. Our current hypothesis is that when you enter a new chapter, it comes with a new voice, a new character, if you will, the cheated. But here's the other thing about the mirror. The last time we saw the mirror was in the threaded void, and we approached it and we saw our own clawed hand and white eyes, and then directly after that I think is when we spoke to the hands. Do we approach the mirror or do we ask about this? Let's approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door.
Oh, baby.
It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Listen, if we were keeping stock of... I really wish we could keep track of this. It would be really interesting to see. Like in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube video right now, there would be like a bar graph that is moving in real time. And each of the bars is the things that I'm curious about. Because the minute the mirror appeared here, guess what? My whole plan about I'm going to go down there and I'm just going to kill her without saying anything and see if she's turned more monstrous. That goes out the fucking window because all of a sudden the mirror's here. Maybe I can do both, but the mirror is very interesting to me. So does it take priority? I don't know. There isn't much to see here.
What are you talking about? This
You don't know
isn't
that.
a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
The mirror, the layer of grime. I'm pretty sure the last time we saw the mirror in the cabin, it was I think it was in front of the door. Not off to the side. I think it was the, like, palace cabin. I may be wrong about that. Wipe the mirror clean. Let's do it.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
The mirror's gone.
I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Or is it, though?
But there was a mirror a second ago.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta keep up with my notes. So to start this chapter, the narrator warns us. And we talk to Cheated. In the cabin, we approached the mirror. And then it was gone. Like I said, I think me keeping track of this stuff is going to be really important because I have a bad memory in general. And me keeping track of what exactly did happen in order to get certain results, I think is just going to be really important for me.
Now it's gone.
Thanks for your
Yet
patience.
another thing in here playing tricks on us. I hate this place.
Why do you sound like... Is it Grima? From Lord of the Rings. Okay, we take the blade. We've been tricked, the mirror. Does it... My current hypothesis is that the mirror is that being in from the long quiet who's just watching us or keeping track, maybe. I don't know.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what she's done to us.
So the voice of the cheated. This piece of dialogue right here, let's make her hurt for what she's done to us, is the first line that clues me in to that provides some characterization for the cheated for me. The voice of the cheated, to me, the defining characteristic is sort of victim. And it's a little bit like revenge, like vengeance-seeking victim. She's done something to us, and that is what motivates our actions. Let's make her hurt. Go to the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it.
It's the same. That's the other thing.
The smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
That's the other thing about it, is it's the formula. Here's what I love about I didn't piece it together until right now. Here's what I love about the fucking basement stairs section, is it's a formula. It's the thing I described. It's you start with physical description. It's the things creaks open. Here's what you're seeing. Here is what you're smelling, and it ends with the slight narrator's push to influence you with what you've smelt and seen and heard. It's great. Slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
She's not even trying to hide her knife. It's like she wants to get in our head. That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head.
Get out of your head? Oh boy. Get out of my head? Enslay the princess? I'm inside 15 fucking people's heads. I can't get out of my head, let alone any of their heads.
Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
Let's hear it.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
It's almost robotic. Grating voice. I expected it to be more like Smoker's rasp, like raspy. That sort, or like gravelly, like dehydrated. But instead it sounds almost robotic.
There is something so
And
wrong
very-
with that voice.
Very sarcastic.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us. Like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
What did we create her into? Let's find out.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room.
This part's broken. Is this part always broken? I think it is always broken. The form of the princess comes into view. Sharp eyes.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
This is a ploy. This is a ploy. Get me out of these chains. We're not safe here. We both need to escape. And it's a ploy because this is what we created you to be. It's like we were afraid you... Oh, it's like that line from the last chapter. We were afraid there would be a hidden blade. And by doing that, we made it real. This will never get old to me. The whole gimmick of this game will never get old to me.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we?
This one's all about
She's
fear.
trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down.
Our guard down. It also sounds like, speaking of Lord of the Rings, it also sounds like that one orc. You know, that one.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
So much of the dialogue in this game is formulaic, which makes sense because you have to tell the same story however many times you have to tell it. And it takes the same formula. I mean, of course it's formulaic because this game is about fucking archetypes. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's just that. That's what it is. The game is formulaic because it's operating on the formula of archetype. So my understanding, and I am not an expert in this at all. I do have a master's in creative writing, which is, you know, adjacent, but I'm certainly not an expert in this type of thing. But when I say archetype, what I mean, if I could say a little bit more about that, what I mean, in case you're not following or in case you're more curious about this, is the like, think about the last 100 years, think about the last 10 years of pick any genre, like princess stories or like teen camp counselor horror movie stories, any of those things. You think about the last 10 years, the way those stories, like the amount of those stories that have been told. And then you zoom out and think about the last 100 years, and you zoom out more broadly from teen camp counselor to, you know, like some sort of monster story or whatever. Like as you zoom out and as you lose in terms of time and like specificness of the stories, and as you lose those specific details, you start to see like the structures or shapes of the story, the sort of push and pull of, by putting a princess in a tower that is high above a monster's area, you sort of necessitate a prince who will rescue her and who must, to do that, defeat the monster. It's just the like, if you really zoom out, what are the, like the building blocks maybe of these types of stories. And the reason it's all interesting is because archetypes affect I mean, frankly, because the hero's journey is there in everything that we consume. Like, whether the hero's journey is there being represented in every story that we consume, or it's being subverted in every story we consume, what I basically am trying to say is that when you personally, as an individual, when you sit down to read, watch, play a story, you have these sort of base level, gut level, deep down, deep in your stomach and your gut level instincts about when something happens on screen, when a character talks a certain way, you have, or a certain set of plot points appear, you have an instinct formed by, frankly, your lifetime of consuming stories, but also thousands of years of humans telling stories. You have a sort of gut level instinct about what might happen next. And storytelling in general is, writers of all kinds are constantly interacting with that gut level instinct that you have. On the one hand, they can lean into it. Rather than describe every feature of a scary monster, they can mention sharp claws, bared fangs, and you sort of fill in the details. I'm coming up with examples on the fly, so forgive me if my examples are terrible. Right after or right before you're about to set off on your heroic journey, they can introduce you to a character who's got a little wisdom, and all of a sudden you know, oh, this character is going to teach me something that I'm going to need to continue my journey. But of course, they can lean into those, or they can subvert them. They can lean away from those expectations. They introduce you to an old character who's pretending to have some wisdom, and it turns out he doesn't have a piece of wisdom that you need to become the hero that you deserve to be. Instead, he's swindling you. That's the sort of thing that's always happening. You have that gut instinct, and then writers and stories more largely are either leaning in or leaning away from that instinct. And archetypes are, in a lot of ways, I think, responsible for what those instincts that you have, what those instincts are. So, how does that affect what we're doing right this second? We just heard her sharp eyes are following you from across the room. This whole game is this. You're, like I said, I think it was a couple episodes ago now, like, we're not getting specifics that often. Instead, what we're getting are the descriptions around the specifics that sort of tell us what type of archetypal path are we on. And then our job is to figure out why we're there, or what happens when we interact with it. Okay. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all. We brought the knife.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
She sounds so sarcastic. Holy dialogue options. If I come close to you, you're gonna stab me, aren't you? Do you remember what happened last time? I'm very curious in this option because how much the princess remembers is very interesting to me. I know you have a knife. I'll let you out of here if you drop it. I'd like to trust you, but you're being so suspicious right now. Can we talk things through? I don't have the key. I know you're mad at me, but I think we both need to let bygones be bygones. What if we're both honest with each other? I was sent here to stop you from ending the world, and you slashed my throat last time. Nobody has to die. What are you going to do if I let you out? Fine, I'm coming closer to free you. You better not try anything, and we can approach. We can turn and leave, or we can say screw it and slay the princess. I'm most drawn to, do you remember what happened last time?
Last time? If someone came into my house and tried to kill me and I cut his neck open, surely I would remember that.
This voice is so weird. I don't know how I feel about it, I'll be honest with you.
But I don't remember it, so it must not have happened.
You do remember it. Okay.
Last time? What are you talking about?
The narrator doesn't, but I do.
Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth.
Okay, so we approach Princess. She remembers. Okay.
I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember, right? Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
So I'm sort of the mind that if I say, I know you have a knife, I'll let you out of here if you drop it, then she will certainly have a knife. I'm kind of curious if I don't say that, whether or not it will be a knife that she actually has. Maybe it could be a sword. Maybe it could be claws. I don't know. But that's exactly what happened. So you do remember it. There we go.
Would I just lie? Would I just lie to your face and tell you a thing I remembered happening didn't happen just so I could stab you again?
Well...
I mean, just so I could stab you for the first time.
She slipped up there. She said again, and her taking it back doesn't count.
Here's what's funny. Princess, from this specific moment, is exactly the sort of thing the narrator is so scared of and warns us so heavily about. So in a way, the narrator might be right from the start of the game when he's like, careful.
Do you hear how deranged you sound right now? Please stop dawdling. This is only going to end with violence. Postponing the inevitable is only going to make it worse for you when it actually happens.
Here's the thing that I still don't know about this game. I feel like there have been times so far in the game when I have picked one of these explore options, which feel safer, but which it has actually ended up affecting what the outcome is. Like these, approach the princess, turn and leave, or slay the princess, feel like the 3 actual options. And then these feel like dialogue that help me learn things. But the thing is, I'm getting nervous that these are actually decisions as well, if that makes sense. If I come close to you, you're going to stab me, aren't you? I'd like to trust you, but you're being so suspicious right now.
That's so rude of you, passing judgments on strangers you've never met just because they're different from you. How would you like it if I did that, huh? Silly little Birdface thinks he's so serious coming down here but doesn't know anything. Thinks he can tell me to get rid of all the knives I don't even have while he gets to wave one around right in front of me.
The knives you don't have, huh?
I bet you didn't like that, did you? I bet you didn't like being judged for no reason.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her.
I love this narrator, the voice actor.
She certainly feels threatening.
Yeah, we've made her that way.
Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your job. But I'm nervous.
We're scared. This is the theme of this chapter for me. The emotional theme of it is the fear.
All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
The thing about when I get stuck in my head about being afraid of her is that it might... Here's what's sort of... It's not sort of. It's just genius. Here's what's genius about this chapter to me. In my experience, in the real world, living my real world life, when I'm afraid of something, and when I spend a lot of time thinking, afraid or nervous or anxious, when I spend a lot of time thinking about how it can go wrong and how bad it might be, and about what specifically about it scares me or what specifically about it would be terrible to happen, it grows in power, whatever it is. As a relatively new, I have a, you know, my daughter is, I have a child now. As a relatively new parent, my daughter's almost a year old. The last year has been full of fear for me, absolutely full of fear. And so much of the last year has been trying to set aside all of the scary thoughts about like sudden infant death syndrome and like her falling or car crashes or like all of the fears, a million fucking fears. So much of my last year has been trying to set those aside because I have found zero, because in thinking of them, they have been made like worse, frankly. To me, this is like the central thing about fear, right? Is that like the more you explore it and build it up sometimes, the worse it can get. I said none of that very well, and I'm not very happy with how I expressed any of that, but maybe you know what I mean. And what is the character doing right now? What are we doing in this game right now? We're sitting here hemming and hawing about, is there a knife? Is there not a knife? Do you really remember what happened? Are you going to... Like, I think we might actually be literally making it worse by asking questions about, like, what's the size of the knife you've got behind your back, princess? We might actually be increasing the size of the knife by doing that, you know? Let's try the honesty route, because I love these routes. What if we're both honest with each other? I was sent here to stop you from ending the world, and you slashed my throat last time.
That doesn't sound like me.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her? We're clearly still figuring out our angle. We don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance.
That's a great point. The narrator's like, go take care of this. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to be the one who gets within swinging distance.
Do you think I'm in a position of luxury right now? You're acting like you are. My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way.
For some reason, the voice of the cheated sounded like James Acaster right there.
No. I have my dignity. Fine. And will continue to treat
think
you
it's mostly the
exactly
accent.
how you deserve to be treated.
I could listen to them bicker for most of the rest of the day. Okay. You know what? Maybe this is the time to do it. I want to do one small test here. I want to make a save. And I don't know that I'm going to reload it. But I want to try these explore options. But I'm worried that I'm going to lose these options. And so I'm making a save just in case. We'll see. If I come close to me right now, if I come close to you, you're going to stab me.
What? No! No! I wouldn't stab you. I am just a sweet, innocent princess trapped here for no reason.
You sound like a bad AI who's come into power.
And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to not stabbing distance to help me.
Not stabbing distance.
I think I've said my piece at this point.
Yeah, you have.
I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death.
That's so meta. That's so meta. Oh, that's so funny. Can't we talk things through?
But we don't have anything to talk through. We're strangers and this place is cramped and annoying and you should just come over here and let me out. Okay, I'm bored now.
She's bored?
See, this is the thing I'm wondering. At some point, do the explore options...
That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored. Not in a way that matters. She's a prisoner. She's... Shit. In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps towards you, a blade erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all.
Amazing. Okay. We've just learned a couple things.
How conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do?
We just learned a couple things. Again, my reading of the situation is that by assuming that she has a knife hidden, it will become true that in some way she has one, even if it's expelled from her actual arm. Here's the other thing we just fucking learned. We took explore options. We delayed choosing our decision, and by so doing, we made a decision.
At least we're safe here. She's still in chains. And those chains stop her from continuing her advance, at least for a moment.
Okay.
She looks down at them with something
You gonna
between
chop her arm
annoyance
off?
and confusion.
We've done that in a different world.
And
Yep,
then
there he
she
goes!
slices through her arm.
Oh.
Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace.
That's so fucked up.
Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it you do. But unfortunately for you and for the entire world, You are horribly outmatched.
Hold up. What is happening right here? I wiped the grime off a mirror earlier. The mirror was gone. Now there's a mirror here.
You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange.
It's not a mirror.
Before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense.
It's not a mirror. What's actually happening here is that we're in like comic book style. Yeah, what a beautiful scene this is. I love the red being the only color. I love the way things stick out from these frames. It's gruesome, but very cool.
She's even better at this than she was last time.
Of course she is. We're creating her as we go.
Bloody cheater.
I'm going to kill you now.
Can I choose to die?
And with a squelch,
nope,
she does
I just die.
that.
Okay, so very interesting. She remembers me. She breaks free. And kills me.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
So, are we going to have a chapter 3 here? The arms race.
You're on a path in the woods.
Oh my god.
Fuck that. If we're going to have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin.
Okay.
You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp. A constricting mess of curved and battered sheet
What
metal
the
pushing
hell?
you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do?
This is what I remember. Was it the same way? Was mirror on the wall in chapter 2 of The Smitten? And then it was the door in the epilogue or whatever? What did you just do? What the fuck? The cheated? So the cheated is... It's still the cheated. Fuck that. Why does the cheated want us to start in the cabin? They don't really say. They just say, if we have to do it a bunch, we're doing it. We're starting there. Okay.
I feel dizzy. Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now?
Yeah, so the smitten and the cheated, we're noticing a pattern here, right? We've encountered the narrator, the voice of the hero, the voice of the stubborn, the smitten, the opportunist, and the cheated. The smitten became more exaggerated the longer we played. The cheated should do the same, most likely. If we're continuing down the same sort of, like, we're ramping up in the same type of way.
The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore.
What? Haunted?
We have to fight.
The haunted. So, the haunted came about in chapter 3 of Arms Race. Running isn't an option anymore. We have to fight. So this is a very fearful voice. This is fight or flight, basically. We can't flight. We have to fight.
What's the point of fighting if she's just
Broken.
going to win every time? It hurts being sliced to pieces. We're better off just sitting up here and doing nothing.
Okay. So broken is give up. Fight, flight, or give up. I can't keep up with my
Great.
notes.
So obviously you've already been here. How many times?
Twice.
This is our
Yeah,
third?
this is third.
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realize that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction.
Well, like hypothetically,
right?
but it's not my world that is damned, you know?
That can't be right. That's too much responsibility. I couldn't agree more. We couldn't be trusted with the fate of a single person, let alone the fate of the world. Let's just stay focused, shall we?
I like the voice acting on Broken. I've got a voice of the Broken inside of me, and it sounds like that too.
The only furniture of note is a bent metal table. A pristine blade perched. We take it.
Yeah, we don't have an option this time. Because at this point, we've taken it twice.
Okay, sure.
That makes
you take
total
the blade
sense.
Before letting me finish telling you it's there. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Now, what will happen with the mirror? Narrator still won't know it is there. But what happens after that?
This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp.
That's right, we've got to be able to win eventually.
I don't know about that.
And what if we never do? So, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to head to the basement like you're supposed to?
I'm so happy we did things in this order in one specific way. I'm so happy that I get to see the monster the princess can become only after understanding that it is us who are making that monster. Because the thematic, like, what this game is teaching me on a moment-to-moment emotional level, and I mean that as, like, I'm learning. Like, I'm learning things about my own emotional world and the, like, the emotional world of our world, for lack of a better term. Because of the knowledge of that, like, central premise or gimmick or whatever you want to call it, of, like, the narrator isn't of us making the world as we choose it, of us choosing the world we live in.
I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there? You walk through the door.
The door.
You do know what doors are, right? But there isn't a door, it's just that mirror again. There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality anymore.
I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it.
Approach the mirror. We aren't given the option this time.
You
I think
make
this
your way to
happened
the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front
last
of
time.
it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open it. Let's just move it out of the way without looking. I don't want to see us. I'm sure we all look awful after dying twice. Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess.
Wipe the mirror clean.
Oh.
Can we see ourselves this time? Oh my god. Dramatic.
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open. And the mirror's gone.
Yeah.
How surprising.
It was never there. Just an illusion.
Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine.
Music changes.
You step forward.
Oh god.
But you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom.
Is this to make the killing more efficient?
Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view.
Everything is
standing
sharp.
at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
So, obviously, like, visually, this has been expressed multiple times, but it's also happened with the literal word sharp. I think it was chapter 1, maybe it's chapter 2, where the princess's eyes are described as sharp. Right here, we just have to keep our senses sharp. The, like, visual element of what's happening here is that everything is the pointy end of a blade. Look at the sharp angles of the dress, of the hair, of the crown, her shoulders themselves. You could be impaled on. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time.
That's part of the fun. Sorry, I thought I clicked twice there. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun. Why do you look so happy?
Fun for her, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't like dying all over again.
Yeah.
Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
But here's the interesting thing about... this again, to me, describes something about fear. I wonder if we are going to have a choice at all in this chapter. Because, here's why. The stairs is no longer something we descend. It's a ramp. we are forcefully thrown down it. The thing about the fear that we've felt so far, and the thing about this line from Hunted, is that it sort of describes a quality of fear, which is that it kind of snowballs. It can snowball. You start off thinking about one thing, and all of a sudden it's this huge, oppressive boulder bearing down on you. I think it's possible. In other chapters, we have been given choices which will then form the world. One of the things about fear is that fear as an emotion is that it can sort of remove choice from the equation. Because when your fear is great enough, you have no choice. I'll be interested to see how many choices we get, if we get any at all. I think it's possible if I were the writers of this game, one of the things I would be thinking about is maybe removing the ability for you to choose at all, because you've already built up your fear so great.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once. Nothing bad has come of it yet. Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered.
What people? This world is just me and the princess. That's my hot take.
The past isn't real. There's only here and now.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades, glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor.
That's the fucking worst sentence I've ever read. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades. Not worst in a bad writing way, but worst in a I hate it way. Glistening with her blood. The empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. I want to actually vomit.
She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas.
Do we get a choice? We have some choices. They may not actually be choices. Here's the thing about what I just said. We have choices. None of them say what they actually do. None of them say explore. None of them say run, attack, die. We're fighting her. Obviously, we're going to appeal to her authority, puff her up a bit. There's no reason we can't talk this out. I'm going to try flirting with her. She's got swords for arms. We don't. We're panicking. We're going to fight her. We're going to have a stiff upper lip about it. She can't hurt us if we don't let ourselves feel it. She wins by killing us, right? So let's beat her to it. Now that's interesting. All of these ideas suck. Think up something better. It's possible these are decisions. I think it's real possible, but they're just not labeled like they're decisions. Okay. Gotta follow my gut. Last time we didn't even get to fight her. She just killed us. Well, that's not true. Our blade was drawn. She just killed us quickly. I am not likely to pick flirting, appealing to her authority to talk ourselves out of it. My mind has been sort of made up this whole time that my goal would be to attack her because or fight her and die, because I think seeing what she becomes is the most interesting thing is the thing I'm most interested in right now. I think killing yourself is not exactly in line with that. I kind of feel like we're going to fight her and have a stiff upper lip about it. She can't hurt us if we don't let ourselves feel it. I'm very curious what this option does, though. Let's think up something better.
Yeah, that's right. We just have to think.
We're probably dead.
An answer if we think.
I think we're dead because we thought.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
Yeah. It's kind of what we did last chapter, which was I talked too much and then I died.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the
fingers.
room, blades flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you.
Ah. Okay. We think
Ow.
she kills us?
What a surprise.
What a surprise.
Yeah. We don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us. Oh, a new one of us.
Wait, what was the voice? What did I... Voice of the skeptic. I didn't even piece it together. I thought that was It said we. I should have known it was not a narrator. Skeptic.
I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you?
We may have died. We die, question mark? The skeptic voice comes at end of chapter 3, arms race. Okay, this is so interesting. So interesting. In a world made of stories. In a story. That's basically what I feel like we are living inside of. In a world of story. When we have made the story that she will slay us, and we've ramped that up and turned it up to 12, we've turned up the saturation. What is the eventual outcome? It sort of feels like being stuck with her in a new room forever, being killed repeatedly. Like, the story that we're telling is the princess is a monster. You must act so quickly because if not, she'll get to you first. If we keep telling that story, if that keeps getting exaggerated, the end form of that might be there's no time. She kills you before you can even defend yourself. There's no time. She kills you before you can even defend yourself.
I think we're dead. And that's all we'll ever be. Dead. Dead.
But here's the next question. If that's true, if that's what's happening here, what of it? What can this game teach us, tell us, leave us with from that kind of ending or story?
Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here?
This is 4.
This is 4.
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I love it when it goes past 1, though, because things get so broken.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
So it's possible that there is a version of what we're doing right now that doesn't involve this piece of dialogue. What this piece of dialogue tells me, I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that. It's like we've stalled ourselves out. I wonder if what I've done right here, by stalling in the last couple chapters and talking more and thinking more, is I've created a version where not only is she a monster and kills me before I have the chance to think, but that I'm sort of paralyzed by thoughts and paralyzed by the idea that maybe I can think myself out of it. Another idea's out there.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances.
We'll see. We'll have to see, right?
Okay. Whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her.
I don't know about that.
As long as we keep moving.
As long as we keep running.
Oh, great. So it's going to get even more crowded. Even more deluded voices that think we might stand any kind of chance.
Come on, show me something new.
Show me something
Okay.
new.
Plan now.
What a nightmare this is. What an actual fucking nightmare. Person trying to kill you, your options are to come up with new plans. We're fighting her. We're appealing to her authority. Okay, we get to try some of the other options. I think this is a different ending. I don't know. I don't know how this game fucking works on a macro level. But I think this is different because we got the same exact options minus the ability to sit there and ponder. What should I choose? Let's try... what do we do? We're panicking? Let's pick the option I liked last time. We're going to let her stab us, and we're going to have a stiff upper lip about it. It doesn't work, and she kills you again, and again, and again. Your memory blurs as your consciousness leaps from life to life to life, holding only snippets of the conflict that transpires. Not even voiced out loud, by the way.
She's going to kill this body either
Cold.
way. So stop feeling what it feels.
She skewers you.
This should be a series of new
Ooh,
voices,
not
if I'm thinking
bad.
correctly.
Real tough.
If I'm thinking correctly, what the game is going to give us right now is that fragmenting of our mind and the blur of loss of consciousness, loss of consciousness, loss of consciousness.
Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps. We just have to hit her harder.
Stubborn is back. Stubborn is back. That's crazy. Stubborn we last saw when we did something with Deja Vu, I think. Or maybe, no, maybe Stubborn was when we... went off the path? I don't remember.
She skewers you.
Yep.
You'll
God.
have to be trickier than that.
Then you skewer yourself.
I kill myself. So these are our options, right? You could choose to fight. You could choose to kill yourself. You could choose to flirt, probably.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh. That didn't do much of anything. We're tougher
Contrarian.
than I thought. Compliment her on those gleaming
Smitten,
blades.
flirt. I
There's
get
nothing
it.
better than a capable woman.
Ah, this is so good. This chapter is amazing. It's just clever.
She skewers you.
It's not just clever. It's also how would I phrase it? This chapter is dexterous. The writing here is very dexterous. So the epilogue where we're dancing and before that we're like eating a meal that lasts forever. I talked about how the writing in that one was in that sort of part of the game was not it was not bad. To be very clear, in general, zero complaints about the writing. Or I shouldn't say that because I'm about to have a small complaint about the writing. But amazing writing, truly amazing. I bow before the greatness of the writers of this game. That said, to me, that chapter had moments where it overstayed its welcome, and frankly, it sort of like the way I would have described it is that it maybe tried too hard to do the thing it was trying to do. It did not trust the reader or the player enough to understand what it was doing. That's not happening in this chapter. This chapter is very dexterous. So few words, and it's accomplishing exactly what it means to. It's showing you have no options. You're trying flight, fight, flee, fawn, what all of the options, right? Like you're trying everything. You're flirting. And no matter what, she skewers you.
You're cute.
It's kind of hot. Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up. Okay, let's go again.
What happens at the end of this? What happens at the other end of a blur of losing of your life?
Just panic. Flee.
Paranoid. The blades, the blades are also splitting. She's got more and more. This is the other part of the pattern, right? God, this game is good. So now we get paranoid. The blades may become too unwieldy, right? Look at her teeth. Oh, God.
She skewers you.
It's amazing.
No, you don't get to escape. That's not how this works.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah. That was a good one. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried
Opportunist.
that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason.
Opportunist was from the epilogue, actually.
She skewers you.
She skewers you.
We're
And-
getting close to something, can't you feel it? One last time.
Yeah.
You're right. One last time, that's all we need. And then everything goes dark, and you die.
Now, here is my guess about what happens. I think we might be about to see our friend in the threaded world outside of the world, if that makes sense. In the long quiet, if that makes sense. Chapter 4, Mutually Assured Destruction.
Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin, and
Never
we'll
mind.
take it from here.
Mutually Assured Destruction. You know, that idea from the nuclear arms race? Well, about the best way to ensure that someone else won't nuke you is to have your own nukes.
Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it?
We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand.
Our steel claw is already in our hand. Tell me what that means.
Oh, what if we throw it out the window?
Have we become more monstrous by being so afraid? Is that the message of the, one of the themes of this part of the writing?
Over my dead body.
It said steel claw and not knife.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I mind anymore.
So after so much time, the knife is no longer a thing we can hold in our hands. We've grabbed the knife so often that it's now a part of our body itself. Is that the interpretation?
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a beautiful woman?
Kinky. I like it.
I'm sure I can think of a better way to die.
Skeptic. That's the original voice from this chapter, from chapter 3.
They're all the same, really.
How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything.
Oh, see, this is so good. I love the paranoid voice. Okay. Now here's the thing we should also talk about. I was just talking about how I thought the writing sort of drug on in one little tiny part of the Eternal Meal type chapter. I'm very much willing to bet that there are people who have played this game and gotten to here and been like, oh my god, this is dragging on. I'm super into it because to me, one of the most interesting things in this game is the way that they have one voice actor voice acting. I can't say narrating because that means something else. These different shards of a character. That's how I'm thinking of them. Emotional shards of a character. I think the voice acting is really good. I think that the voices speaking against each other have a lot to add to each other and a lot to like contrast each other and bring about ideas for me as the player. That said, I'm sure somebody's playing this and being like, I haven't clicked anything in forever. It's just other people talking to themselves. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying I am the ideal audience for this exact chapter. I'm fucking loving it.
The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top.
It's like the opportunist is like optimism.
There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them? Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time.
Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover.
Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only it's more of a slide. We know.
At this point, it's got to ramp up. This is the other thing that's genius about this. So, speaking of the like archetypal thing we were talking about earlier, this game is partially about archetypes, it's partially about storytelling. We've had 3 chapters now where where everything has sort of ramped up. It's not that like in the first chapter we choose to grab the blade. In the second or maybe third chapter, there is no choice, we just grab the blade. In the fourth chapter, the blade is a part of our hand. Like, it's you have to continually... If we don't ramp up, then the story stagnates. The, like, internal logic of the story doesn't quite work. It was a stairs, then it was a ramp, removing our choice. What will it be now? There's a chance that it goes somehow even more aggressively towards forcefully delivering me to the princess. There's a chance it goes a different direction and subverts our expectations. But this is the other sort of like, this game is so about that sort of internal logic, the internal formula of how storytelling works.
Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs, or this room, or anything?
The narrator's being
Feels like I'm
crowded
hardly a
out.
part of this. Don't care, just want to win.
Oh, this is crazy. With the narrator gone, the world we live in is gone. We've populated it with so many voices.
Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it?
What could it be?
I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm
Yeah.
just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Our agency keeps getting removed by this fear story. The narrator killing time.
Are you going to say what she does? Do you want me to talk now?
The narrator is throwing their own rebellion.
Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's
No!
skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears.
He's all blade.
And then it erupts. She
She's a
becomes
bomb.
a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her
God.
splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades.
She's all blade.
A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
It's crazy. It's crazy. This game is so... This game's so smart. This game is so smart.
Are you ready for what comes next?
The question will end up being, here's my prediction. This game is so smart. It wears its smartness on its sleeve. It asks you to be smart and play along. It generally treats the player, the reader, as if they are very intelligent and asks you to read into the subtext, read into the larger picture, the meta story of what's going on. Here's the large question that I can't wait to find out in the next 10, 20 episodes, however many it's going to take. As a huge fan of stuff, of metafiction, of stuff that is meta, of stuff that is smart, that wears its intelligence on its sleeve, as an enormously huge fan of that kind of stuff. The biggest pitfall of so much of that work that falls short of being amazing, that falls short of actually moving people, is that that in the service of being so smart and intelligent and meta, you sacrifice some, for lack of a better word, what we'll call a heart. You sacrifice the heart of the thing, meaning you get so obsessed with showing how smart you are that you sort of forget that you're in a give and take relationship with a player in this case, or a reader, that it is sort of your responsibility or your chance in this work of art to give something to the person who's playing along so devotedly with you. I have my suspicions that this game has a raging, beating heart of emotion in it. But we'll see as we play. It ends up being one of the... it's just something you got to pay attention to when a thing gets so interested in being smart and meta and all that jazz. Okay. But I have a feeling this game has a big old heart. Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit!
Everything has ramped up. It can't ramp up anymore. We're in an exaggerated version of an exaggerated story. We've taken that exaggerated version of the exaggerated story and we've squared it. It's not progressing linearly, it's progressing exponentially. She's all blades.
She's gorgeous. Absolutely divine.
What does this mean for us and for the world that we are currently in?
Yes, behold the perfect woman. Do you think we can throw her out the window? That looked painful. How is she still alive? Heart's still beating, that's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it? This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing. We're screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it.
Empty your mind. This is cool. It's a neat effect.
What just happened? It's so quiet.
Okay, we're back in the original room. Him too. Oh boy. Narrator gone as well. So here's the... I'm sorry for yapping. I'm so sorry for yapping. Here's the interesting thing about what's happening right now. It may feel like a decision out of nowhere to give you, the player, the option to silence the voices that so far have been your companions in the story. Except it's not out of nowhere, because it happened just a minute ago. A minute ago, the voices told the narrator that they were uninterested in hearing him talk. The narrator went silent. The narrator refused to narrate. We are familiar, because it happened, it was hinted at just a minute ago, about the potential option that the voices could be quieted. That's a good writing technique. You don't surprise the reader out of nowhere with this huge move. You hint at it. It's possible. Let's silence the narrator too.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once.
Something huge just happened, which is a confirmation of a theory I have about this game. The voices, when they disappeared, we reverted to the default world. That means that the voices supply the flavor on that detailed world. Every time we die, we add a voice, the world has changed. The flavor of the world has changed. The other thing that happened, when the narrator was removed, the world itself was removed. What's left, when those are gone, is us and the princess. God, this game is good. Holy shit. Are you gonna kill me? You do not act, and yet through that inaction, your body moves on its own. So this gets back to the central theme of me not choosing things quick enough. You do not act, but inaction is a choice. Through inaction, your body moves on its own. The princess strikes as you approach, but as her blow finishes its arc, you're already somewhere else.
You're incredible.
So I'm dodging. Your weapons clash again and again, you and her entering a rhythm, free of thought and free of self, free of identity, free of ego. There is only the dance, the ebb and flow, the shifting of the tides back and forth between you. God damn, this is good. The deeper you fall into your play, the faster your hearts pound, and the faster the momentum volleys between you. Does this remind you of anything? We just danced. We danced under the open night sky not so long ago, and now we dance again differently. We've found a way to remove the narrator, to remove the voices, and we've gotten down to the thing at the center of it, which is this screw the identity, screw everything else. It's the dance. It's the who will kill who first. An endlessly building crescendo. And then an opening. An endlessly building crescendo. That's a paradox. It can't build endlessly. There is no infinite crescendo. The thing at the end of all of that rising action will have to be a climax. Your blade strikes free of volition. And hers strikes too. Your blade strikes free of volition. That's an interesting phrase. Hers strikes too. Both strikes are lethal. Neither of you will survive, but neither of you fear what is to come. Oh, what a gift. What a gift. What a gift from the writers. That line right there. Neither of you will survive, but neither of you fear what is to come. This is a good ending. This is a love story. And it's insane that the ending that gets me to understanding that this is a love story is the one where I fight a fucking blade monster 1,000,000 times. So here's my interpretation of what's going on right now. This chapter has been, as I've mentioned along the way, about sort of two things at once, and probably more. But the thematic material of this, I say chapter, of this arc of the story have been a few things at once. One, fear and the way that decision-making tie together. The way that fear removes your ability to make decisions and also forces you to make decisions, endless decisions, all of that. I've talked about it along the way. The other thing that it's about is basically, at its most basic, storytelling structure. There cannot be infinite crescendos. The stairs will become a ramp. Things must, I don't know how to phrase it other than like they must crescendo. They must come to a head. And that's what this says. Neither of you fear what is to come. The fear is the thing that has really been the hell of this arc of the story. It's been the fear. It's been being clouded by a million voices. It's been being unable to decide what to do. Yeah, this is a good ending. This is a good ending. What a arc. Now here's the question that I don't know about the game. Do I see the long quiet and get some confirmation that I have delivered a perspective to that? Or does that sort of happen in the background? Does that make sense as a question? The hands. God, this game's good. You do not get to see each other die, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns. So my interpretation of what's happening right now is that we've just fulfilled a little bit of what we promised the hands inside of the long quiet. We brought you another perspective so that you might be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. Approach the mirror. You do so. Gaze into your reflection. Is this going to be different now? Last time we saw a hand, 2 glowing eyes. Silence as you reach towards the glass. It's time for you to see what's in it. Is that more shape, or is that is more shape? Oh shit, I just got a Steam achievement, but I didn't see what it said because I was looking at other things. You've grown. Yeah, there's more of my body. More visible. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Proceed to the cabin. Should be, yep. The blade monster is there. You're at the cabin. Approach her. What a version of the princess the blade monster is, by the way. What a version.
Lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
Yeah, you sort of have a blade skeleton. Are we going to add pieces of you together? And also you have a heart. Are we going to add pieces of you together to get to...
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Incredible. Incredible. Are you the same being as you were before? How much have you changed?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
God, this being is wise. That's a good answer. Holy shit, there's some good options here. Everything you say feels like a riddle. Can you give me a straight answer? What does it feel like to change like this? When this is all done, do you know what you want to do? You know that at the end of this, once you're finished, I'm going to kill you, right? What if I go back? Sorry, when I go back, it's as if an invisible wall closes around me. Why can I not do the same things I've done before? It's possible that means that the game will prevent you from getting the same endings, which would be amazing. Because I'm very nervous of putting way too much effort in to just get the same ending. You've been kinder to me than anyone else I've met. Thank you. You've been kinder to me than anyone else I've met. Why? What do you want me to bring you next time? Do you have any thoughts on this vessel? I don't want to hurt you, but the more times I go back, the worse I fear things will be. What do you feel about me? These vessels I've been bringing you, I've hurt them. How many more vessels do Do I need to bring you? There's no question. There's no chance if I ask that question, I get a good answer. I tried it last time. What if I don't want to bring you any more vessels? What if I wait here forever? You're just being pretentious. I can also attack or destroy. I am interested in the... When I go back, it's as if an invisible wall closes around me. Why can I not do the same things I've done before?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
Okay. Like I said, to me that feels like a meta, like, game knowledge thing, where it's like you can't go back to paths you've already tread. Which is interesting, because I did make a save earlier that I bet I could go back to, but I don't know if I will. I'll be honest, I don't know if I will. I don't feel the need to right now. What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together.
This is going to sound out of complete left field, but I promise it makes sense if you know both of these games. This specific voice, the hands and the long quiet, reminds me of one other specific voice in a game, which is the Mercer Sphere voice in Satisfactory, a game that I'm playing right now. But I swear, it's mostly the rhythm and the tone, and not the, like... It's mostly that. They both use these, like, sort of floating 1,000 miles above the world, looking down on it. It's all present tense. The breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. It's a vast mind describing to someone who does not understand it what it is currently experiencing. Using abstract language at times, but describing it physically. Perspectives meld together. The breadth of my experiences stretches. Those verbs are physical verbs. The things they are describing are concepts, abstract. Yeah.
It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Why have you been kinder to me than anyone else I've met?
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
This has helped a lot, me having the knowledge that outside of the worlds the narrator creates, in a big void, a threaded void, me and this being are sort of approaching each other, trying to understand each other. What do you feel about me? The vessels I've been bringing to you, I've heard them.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
God, I know this whole thing is so abstract, meta. It's frankly like abstract and like devoid of... It's ungrounded. It's not two people walking on a street talking with each other. But I think I have so much hope for this relationship and conversation. I think it will be the central place we find so much of the meaning in this game, given enough time. What do you want me to bring you next time? I wonder if they'll give me a hint towards what I do next.
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring
Yeah,
them.
I knew they would refuse.
My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
And then how many more vessels do I need to bring you? My guess is the same. I won't get an answer.
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective.
I do love the way the game has, how do I phrase it? How do I phrase it? The game has foregrounded one specific word or way of thinking about this relationship and its perspective.
You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
It makes you think every time you restart the game that what you're actually seeking is a new perspective. You're not seeking a new, like, true version of events or, like, a new canon timeline. You're seeking a perspective, which is very helpful in a, like, multi-dimensional time loop, multiverse type of story where you are not grounded in one reality. This is a new question. You don't have any preferences on how you'd like to change or grow? I can imagine your answer. Does a child know how it wants to grow? That kind of thing. Like,
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
isn't it crazy that I can feel like this being in front of me, something made of a like hollowed out princess and a blade monster? I feel like this has a character. I know this being. I'm starting to know it, know its ways, and know how it feels about things. What if I wait here forever? I'm curious what happens.
Then we will remain here as we are now, barely finished, damp, cavernous.
You have no need to wait. Why do you speak in riddles?
I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say.
Same.
If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
Translation. Gamer, you're sitting there asking me to tell you what this game means. That is incorrect. What this game means is what you felt the first time you discovered that you can dance under the moonlight with that princess who you could not love at first because they were simply a mirror to yourself. But then, through suffering, you grew to potentially understand that you could love them if you had a chance. The first time you slayed the blade monster, like the game isn't saying here's your meaning. The game is saying you've already felt your feelings. That's where the meaning exists. Which is like step one towards a very smart game having a heart, by the way. We're halfway there. In terms of me feeling good about that. Do you know what you want to do when this is all done?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
Those are very good ones. Any thoughts on this vessel?
This one is a single-minded edge.
Yeah.
She is cruelty, but she is also joy. She will make for a piercing heart.
She's cruelty. She killed you before you even really had a chance to fight back half the time. She was so hell-bent on your destruction. But she is also joy. She is that dance that feeling of being so alive, chasing after something like that.
Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be.
I'm not going to mourn her. Don't worry. I'm happy she's not killing me anymore. This leaves one more explore option. You know that at the end of this, once you're finished, I'm going to kill you, right? I'm so nervous about picking this one, but I'm going to pick it.
There is still much to be seen. Neither of us know the depths of our being. Perhaps at the end of this, I will be the one to kill you. Or perhaps we will leave this place together and find new horizons to discover.
Here's what made me nervous about that dialogue option. It felt heavy-handed. Oh, the game's called Slay the Princess. Of course, the last thing I'll have to do is to make this being and then kill it. But the being sets me at ease. The hands set me at ease. They say, none of us know what is possible towards the end. It isn't heavy-handed. We don't know what the end will be. I'm ready to go back.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
I love how fast you die after that shit every time. Everything goes dark, and you die. A piercing heart in a cage of iron. Bring the razor,
You're on the
parentheses
path
full,
in the woods,
to her.
and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Oh boy, ain't that a hefty arc of a story. Holy crap. That was awesome. I loved it. I said everything I had to say while I was in the middle of it. I have no more final thoughts. I'm going to need to go think about this for a while and decompress and figure out what makes sense for me to do next. What a game. What a game. What a game. It's funny how different, how speaking of the formula of storytelling, the last words and the first words hit uniquely each time. The stories start and end the same. Everything goes dark and you die, and you're on a path in the woods, but it hits different every time based on what you bring to it. That's going to do it for our episode. Thank you so much for watching this this big old episode. I really hope you appreciated, or I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you sticking with me through it. Hey, shout out to one of our most recent Patreon supporters, Adam D. Adam, thank you for supporting the channel over on Patreon, allowing me to keep the lights on in our house and put diapers on my daughter and do this as my full-time job. I greatly appreciate being able to talk about stories with you all. I appreciate you. I will see you guys in the next episode. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Much love. Bye-bye.